Hello and thank you for watching. My name is Heather Alexandra, and I'm here to talk critically about games. Overwatch released a new hero character recently, the support sniper Ana Amari. She's a blast to use. She's become one of my favorite characters in the game. She's a great addition, and I use her all the time. Although I will say before we get started that my favorite character is Tracer. Cheers, love. Today we're going to take a closer look at Ana and what is being communicated through her playstyle. What this isn't a how-to-play Ana guide, or a big technical rundown of her mechanics with charts and numbers and sort of tips and tricks, although I will cover some of those things in this video. This is a chance to examine what Ana tells us about Overwatch, and, to some extent, AAA design priorities in general. So, with that in mind, let's get started, and let's just simply talk about who Ana is and what she can do. Ana Amari is a former member of Overwatch, a group of super awesome, badass international soldiers that helped fight off a robot uprising. She was second in command and was a super great badass sniper lady. She is also the mother of another character, Farah. On paper alone, she is a unique presence in games. She's above the average age range for player characters, because she's in her 60s. She's a woman, a mother, and she's of a nationality that is definitely not typical for AAA games protagonists. She's Egyptian. To stress many of these things, Ana's gameplay and mechanics are forged explicitly to mesh many of these qualities into a play language that reinforces these images. In particular, this is done by making her a healing character. So let's talk about what Ana actually does for a moment. Here's how Ana works when you play as her. Ana's primary weapon is a sniper rifle that can heal teammates or damage enemies. This gives her the potential to heal from far away if she's in a very good position. Her damage output isn't as high as other sniper characters, because she doesn't get bonuses for headshots. If you shoot someone in the head, you don't heal them more. If you shoot them in the head, you don't damage them more. In addition to this sort of main mode of interaction, Ana also has a grenade that can do an area of effect healing, or it can damage enemies while also temporarily hindering their ability to heal. It sort of blocks their chance to use healing abilities for a couple of seconds. Her other ability is a sleep dart, which is super handy for escaping enemies or shutting down particularly dangerous foes. Her ultimate ability boosts a teammate for 8 seconds, and in those 8 seconds you want to stay the hell away from that enemy because they are going to beat you up if they are supercharged. So what does this tell me about Ana? Well, the main thing it tells me is that she's protective. It covers that motherhood angle nicely by giving her a primary mode of interaction that is largely about healing and helping others, while still giving her the ability to focus on threats and take them out if need be. The fact that her healing method makes her a good partner to Farah is also a big plus, because it reinforces the mother-daughter relationship literally within gameplay itself. The fact that she can't do big burst damage the same way that Hanzo or Widowmaker can speaks to her age to a certain extent. Applying damage over time might as well be one of the closest ways games have to representing age or the effects of aging over a literal clock or timer. It's pretty great stuff and shows that Blizzard gave a lot of thought to her design. But, and there's always a but, Ana becomes trickier when we think about her a bit broader. It's not a perfect means to analyze games, but often designers ask a lot about verbs. What are the verbs of a game? What are the things that you can or cannot do to express yourself in a space? If tempted, we might look at Ana and think poetically. What do I do with Ana? I heal, I protect, I support. All of this is absolutely true, but I need to look at the literal actions as well, like literally what am I doing from moment to moment? What do I do as Ana? I shoot guns, and I toss grenades. And this is the big paradox with Ana. I heal, with my gun. Before we proceed further, let me note that this is fine. Ana's an amazingly cool character with a fun playstyle. Still, we run into a really strange scenario where my verbs heal and nurture overlap with shoot. This, in turn, begins to tell me something about the value system of Overwatch, and possibly even the value systems of games in general. Again, let me stress, I am not suggesting that Ana only needs to run around and give people hugs and give them candy and be a good old grandma. I'm not saying any of that shit at all. I'm playing a shooting game. I'm playing a competitive shooter. I expect my character to have a gun. Yet, the fact that Ana's overall accessibility comes from her plain language using a gun tells me that the overall spread of verbs in games right now is kind of limited. Let's compare Ana to other healing characters for a moment. Mercy uses an odd healing staff thing. Zenyatta buffs and debuffs characters through mystical orbs, and Lucio literally heals people through the power of music. It's all very abstract. So when the time came to add a new hero, Blizzard had to consider how this hero would heal, and if this healing method would be easily understood. Both kind of in terms of like, hey, do I understand how this is being achieved? And also as a player, hey, do I understand how I can contribute and do this thing? And thus far, healing in Overwatch had been really abstract. But Ana's overall accessibility comes from the fact that her verbs and her mechanics are something that most players will immediately understand. Shooting people. If you've played games, chances are you know how to pull a shoulder button and shoot a dude. Like, that's one of the main things we do in games all the time, over and over. Because of this, and also due to a lack of mobility that prevents her from gaining quick vantage points like other sniper characters, while Ana is probably intended to be a bit more technical in application, she's actually a bit more direct. She tends to be played in the mid-range, or even in the thick of things, where she can change momentum quickly through frantic ability use. Healing people with multiple shots, damaging people now and then, putting people to sleep, tossing down grenades to heal a big group, charging people up with her ultimate so that you can press forward towards a point. And that's okay, it works out pretty well. But it doesn't really mesh completely with her character. Like, you get to be technical and sneaky from time to time, but because Ana's primary mode of interaction lacks the abstraction of other healers, because you literally have a gun in your hand, you end up with a diverse character that has narratively cogent abilities on paper that mostly just plays like she's from any other AAA shooter. And that's a real bummer. At the end of the day, we should always ask, and I mean always ask, no matter what game you're playing, what a game is saying with its mechanics. With Ana, Overwatch seems to imply that accessibility comes from an adherence to tired, overused shooting mechanics of yesterday. It undercuts Ana's diversity, reduces the scope of the game space, and highlights the limited nature of game's expressions. Don't get me wrong, Ana's great. She's strong and supportive and brave, but her gameplay and the narrow scope of what she can or cannot do seems living proof to the idea that games still struggle with player expression. If they didn't, I don't know if I'd be healing people with a gun.